Are you all sure you're in the right room? There's a celebrity speaker panel going on next door. But whilst we get the presentation set up, let me present a scenario to you. Whichever city you're in, it starts raining on Sunday morning, and it's gray, dark, gloomy, and that's how it is for the next 1 week. Quickly, tell me, just shout out, what is your mood for that 1 week? Bad, terrible? Sorry? Sleepy? Oh, I love that. Ada, chai pakora. Nice. Depends on the OTT chosen. Gloomy. Right. So please remember that. And that is why we are talking about shining light on the brain. And the topic I was given was for the aging brain, but it holds true for all brains, right? As you can see, half of you are not aging yet from that perspective. How many people below 50? Oh my God, mostly. What are you doing in the aging brain class, guys? So that you don't age badly. Great, right. So, one of the other companies that I work with is Arkani PhotoBioLife, and in the spirit of full disclosure, the technology we use is what I'm talking about, and we are commercially interested in it. A lot has been spoken about mitochondrial dysfunction, right, in the last 2 days and otherwise as well, on how that's one of the major causes of cellular and molecular, brain aging. So ATP, mitochondria produces ATP, which is basically required for all your cellular energy functions. You know why we eat food? So that we feed the mitochondria. Why we breathe? So that the mitochondria can do its job. With age, mitochondrial function declines. So you have reduced ATP production and increased ROS, reactive oxygen species. Sorry, should I just cycle through this? I think in the last 2 days we've heard a lot of this. Yeah, what do you say, guys? Yeah, so just tell me where to stop. I'll go zip. But the reason I want to spend a few minutes on what are the causes of brain aging is so that then you will appreciate why light actually works. So we spoke about mitochondria in the previous slide. What about the oxidative stress? And why the oxidative stress is particularly bad for the brain? Because the brain is the biggest consumer of oxygen in your body. Between 20 to 30% of the oxygen and the energy you consume. So how many people are counting calories? Okay, a few. So let's say if you're consuming 1500 calories in a day, about 500 are being consumed for your brain to do what it does, right? So the next time you're hungry and you're feeling depressed, just eat. No, sorry, not like that. But yeah, just figure out that are you hydrated? Are you taking care of your nutrition, etc. Excessive ROS is now proven to damage neurons, synaptic activity, your cellular membranes itself. And this directly contributes to the formation of waste pigments in the brain. So the brain's immune system, primarily through the microglia, becomes very overactive with age, and that overactive microglial activation leads to prolonged inflammation. And with inflammation, what do you get? You're more susceptible to neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, so on and so forth. So protein aggregation is another cause, brain aging. It disrupts the homeostasis, leading to accumulation of very aggregated and very misfolded protein forms, beta amyloid plaques, tau tangles. I'm sure all of these things we all know. So this interferes with the normal cellular functions in the brain, and it contributes to loss and even neuronal death. Some of the vascular changes. How many of you have noticed that if you're sitting for a long time, for 4 hours, 5 hours, sitting reading, you're just tired? But, counterintuitively, why should you be tired? You're not running around, you're not walking around, so you're actually burning less calories, right? but you're tired because of this. What are the effects of brain aging? Structural changes, brain atrophy, particularly in the hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and actually now even the cerebellum. Unfortunately, medical science for the last many decades believed that the cerebellum was the small brain, right? And it was mainly for your balance and gait, etc. But that's a myth. Your cerebellum has 70% of the neurons of your brain. Unfortunately, because we didn't have the technology, so we kept just studying the cerebrum and then the prefrontal cortex. And we said, great, now we understand how the way the brain functions. The other effect is the loss of synaptic density and the neural connectivity within your cerebellum, within the cerebrum, and within all the other parts. Cognitive decline, I think the previous speaker alluded to that, reduced memory, attention, processing speed, etc. And greater susceptibility to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, so on. So in comes technology, photobiomodulation. How many of you feel better when you get some sunlight? Everyone, right? Now that doesn't mean you don't need my technology. So photobiomodulation has been around for over 60 years. It's people who have worked on it. There are two gentlemen who received Nobel Prizes for it. I'm not the third for sure. Over 100 million patient treatments globally, over 7,000 research papers and clinical trials, almost 1/3 of them on humans. What is photobiomodulation? How we can use red and near-infrared light to charge up the mitochondria and ATP. I zipped through the previous slide so I can delve a little longer on this. What really happens is very specific wavelengths of light. Let me give you an example. So how many of you wake up at, let's say, 5:30 in the morning or have woken up at some point in time, right? Pre-sunrise, right? When the sun's not yet out, you're just seeing a little bit of the reddishness, pinkishness on the horizon, right? That is parts of the red light wavelength. What you're not able to see to the naked eye is near infrared. That gets absorbed through cell membranes and it stimulates the mitochondria. And like I said, 7,000 research papers. I've got some links which I will share with you. So this is not me saying this. This is 60 years of research. It starts stimulating the release of nitric oxide, and it increases the oxygen production. And nitric oxide actually binds to something called cytochrome C oxidase. It's a crucial enzyme in cellular respiration. This starts producing ATP, adenosine triphosphate. There is no human being on the planet who can think, breathe, eat, sleep well, anything without consuming ATP. Your brain consumes about 6 kgs of ATP a day. 6 kilos. The entire human body consumes its own body weight of ATP every day. Tell me, if there are 3 ways to generate ATP, the first we discussed was eating, you need glucose. Second is breathing. Both of those are important, but very inefficient ways. Why? Because they require a lot of work for your biomachinery, right? Eating, digesting, excretion, absorption, breathing. How much can you breathe? You're not supposed to be having a high resting heart rate, right? Now imagine if light is giving you enough ATP without doing any of the heavy lifting of eating and breathing. But please don't stop breathing, right? So ATP then carries the generated energy throughout the body, and it plays a key role in almost every essential process in our body at the cellular level. And as we've discussed earlier on, that mitochondrial dysfunction, which means when the mitochondria are not generating enough energy. So at an average level, your body needs, let's say, X amount of ATP for repair of day-to-day wear and tear. If you start generating less ATP than that, that's when aging accelerates. What does it do then? So it modulates your ROS, it reduces the oxidative stress, it signals to activate the beneficial gene expression and cellular repair process. Better nitric oxide release, it's a great vasodilator, so better cerebral blood flow. And it's been shown to reduce the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines. I could go on and on. How does it help in aging? Like I said, boosting ATP production, reducing ROS, reducing inflammation, down-regulating the inflammation mediators, promoting neuroplasticity, increasing the release of neurotropic factors, BDNF included, and vasodilation. These are our devices. They are Class A registered medical devices with the CDSCO, can be purchased without prescription. Lots of people are using them. Lots of research we rely on in addition to what we do. Just goes on and on all across the world. Some of the most sought after neuropsychiatric and neurological offices in the world and clinics are using this technology, whether it's Massachusetts General Hospital, Harvard Medical School, NASA, the US Army, Navy, Air Force, etc. Yeah, thank you.
Please go back to the device slide. Device slide went very fast.
Couple of questions, right?
Are there any side effects of infrared?
So there are only 2 contraindications, not because there were side effects, but because we don't have enough research. So one is on pregnant women, because we don't know yet what will be the effect on the placenta. And the second is for people who have photosensitivity, right? So who literally react very badly to sunlight. So there's not enough research on pregnant women and these subjects. But otherwise, there are no side effects.
What is the cost of this device?
No discounts, but yeah, the nasal device is for 7K. The cap is for 29K. The belt is for 25K.
Altogether you have to buy.
No, you just buy any one.
Can this be put in a clinic or is it direct to consumer?
It's direct to consumer, and we have doctors who are using it in the clinic as well.
My question is more technical, is about the challenge of the photobiomodulation is to reach the brain area that it is affected in Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease, which is profound, and you have the skull and all the parenchyma that you have to the light go to through out in order to reach this brain area. What your devices propose different from the ones that are available, and to reach this, have you developed some technologies to reach this brain area, profound brain area?
Of course. So certain wavelengths of light actually are now proven to penetrate the skull. So we will not be able to go right through the brain. We can only reach the surface of the brain. That's about it.
Yeah, I have the mic this time. Curious, how much more of this radiation does this device give compared to the natural light that you might get if you wake up at 5:30 or whatever and go out for a walk?
Sorry, can you be a little louder?
How much more of the modulation happens through your devices compared to what exposure we'd get if we got up early in the morning and went out for a walk for an hour?
So 2 things. So one is full spectrum sunlight has very little red and near infrared. So what you are able to get red and near infrared, which is beneficial in this context, is just before sunset or just before, or actually in the Brahma Muhurat, right? That's one. The second is, alluding to her question as well, very little light actually penetrates the skull. So then the best way to take it is through the nostrils, because as you know, we have a cavity where light can actually go right up the brain. So which is why our nasal device, so it's called intranasal photobiomodulation. If you just Google it, phenomenal amount of research on how it's helpful.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation.
Sorry, where are you, ma'am? Yeah.
I'm Paolo from France. My question is, did you couple your device with EEG recordings to see if you are changing the brain rhythms of the brain? And do you apply like a 40 hertz frequency in the light deliver, or is just continuous light?
So we do continuous as well as theta.
Okay.
Theta and alpha both.
And it changes the brain rhythms if you record?
It's not the purpose to change the rhythm, but if you do it in a certain manner, you can.
Okay.
So my other company, Neuraleap, we use brain-computer interface extensively. We'll complete this month 20,000 individual brain
With a
assessments.
feedback loop?
Yeah.
Eventually.
One
Thank you.
question is that you're not thinking of using gamma frequency?
Sorry?
40 hertz stimulation? Because that's been shown to be,
We also do that.
you also do that.
Yeah. So we do continuous and all forms of biphasic. Yeah. The only one we are not doing is delta. I mean, obvious reasons.
At 40 hertz you're doing, okay. Great, thanks so
Thank you.
for wonderful talk.
Thanks.